Special loadouts are finally going live with update 26, and despite being a very straightforward system, there's plenty of things to learn. So here's everything you need to know. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Fallout 76 video. In this feature overview, I will share everything I have learned about the special loadout system so far. It has been a very interesting journey, and I'm really glad Bethesda is finally going forward with the system. After all, it will allow players to experiment and try different builds in a much easier way. But first things first, right? Let's start with the very basic and slowly move up the charts and even go over some concerning issues. Alright, I hope you're ready. Let's do this. If you are not familiar yet with the perks or special loadout system, then you should know that most of the magic will happen through a new item, the punch card machine. This upcoming item will come with update 26, and you will be able to find it all over the wasteland, at every train station, at faction main bases, and at player camps too. Without the punch card machine, you are not able to swap loadouts, which is a huge letdown and limitation. However, you are able to edit part of your current loadout on the go, as I will explain in another point later on. Anyway, this machine allows you to freely allocate your attributes and normal perks as many times as you want without any cost. Amazing. You can also change your loadouts names with whatever you please, but there are a few rules and facts to keep in mind. Still, before we go there, let me show you where to find the punch card machines all over the wasteland. As I already mentioned, once update 26 goes live, you will be able to find the punch card machine at every train station. However, Bethesda is not adding this item in the same exact location at every station. I visited every station in the game, and I can confirm there are two different placements. First, you can either find the machine inside the stations against one of the walls, just like it happens at the White Spring, Sunnytop, Grafton, and even the Watauga train stations. The second placement, though, is outside the station to the left side of the main door, near the vendor. Examples of this placement are at the Pleasant Valley, Sutton, and even the RNG stations. No matter what station you visit, though, you will either face the first or the second placement. So if you don't immediately see a punch card machine, make sure to take a better look. It's certainly there, it's just you're probably missing it so far. Alright, now you should know that Bethesda is also adding a punch card machine to faction main bases, but not all. For instance, the Blue Ridge Caravan and the Retreat settlements don't have one, but the Brotherhood of Steel, the Raiders and the Settlers are getting one at their main settlements. You can find the machine at the interior of their bases. At Fort Atlas, the punch machine is right at the entrance inside the fort on the left side. It's impossible to miss it. Then at the crater, you need to go inside the core, and if you look right near the red sofa, there it is. Also very easy to spot. Lastly, at the foundation, it's a long run, but not necessarily a difficult one. Head down the elevator and then take a look to your right side. You can even see the machine from the elevator spawn point. You can find the punch card machine right near the restricted access room. Anyhow, what if you want to build your own? Well, that will be possible too. With update 26, characters above level 25 will automatically unlock the punch card machine plan, which naturally will allow you to build your own punch card machine at any of your camps. Yes, camps. Remember, the camp slot system is also going live with the same patch. If you don't know what I'm talking about, feel free to check the overview. I have it live already. Now, you can find the machine under the crafting category through your building mode, and for whatever reason, you are able to craft up to 20 units per camp. Hey, don't ask me why. I guess Bethesda is making sure you can become a punch card addict if that's what you want to do. Anyway, something else you should know is that you can perfectly access another player's punch machine at their camps. It works like any punch card machine in the world, so do enjoy. Now that we got some of the basics out of the way, let's focus on the special loadouts rules. First of all, how can you create a new loadout? Well, the answer is you can't. The system comes with 2 slots by default, so the very first time you log in after Update 26 goes live, you will see that your existing build is attached to the very first slot, and the second one is an empty one. As such, you don't have a lot of work to do, unless you wish to change your current build too. If you are happy with it, then you can only work or create a second build through the second slot. It's very straightforward. When you work on an empty slot, you need to choose your attributes first. Only then you are able to do your perk selection. Now feel free to experiment as much as you want with your loadouts, because my friend, any changes are free, so you can do whatever you want. You can remove, add and change anything without any costs. So if you make mistakes, it's very easy to just go back to what you had before. There is nothing much to lose besides a little bit of time. Okay, so as I already said, building and changing your loadouts is completely free, and I do mean everything, your attributes included. You can play around with them as much as you want without paying a single perk point anymore. That's all part of the past with the special loadouts. In fact, there's even a reset option, which will remove all your allocated attributes with one single click. Wow. So watch out for misclicks. It doesn't ask for confirmation for attribute resets, which means if you end up clicking there, you will lose all your attributes until this point. I mean, it's not difficult to get it back, but you might not remember exactly the numbers you had before. So watch out there, just to let you know. Anyway, this means players are now able to do full respecs without limitations and without paying a cent. Now, isn't that beautiful? I think it is. Next, I want to talk about a very important rule which can later lead into inconvenient situations. The special loadout system uses shared perks, which by default is very convenient. What does this mean though? Well, it means that every loadout uses the same exact perks you already own. One perk card could be used for both loadouts. As such, you don't have to own, for example, 2 Bloody Mess cards to add to both of your builds. However, if you modify a perk card which is currently part of a loadout, it will automatically unequip it. There are 2 events that can cause this, either by scrapping or by ranking up the perk being used. There are even warning messages to let you know what will happen if you decide to go forward and scrap or rank up perk cards in use by the loadout system, as shown in the footage. Let me give you a practical example. I decided to add a rank 1 Happy Camper to both of my builds, then proceeded to level up this perk into rank 2. As a result, since I no longer had a rank 1 Happy Camper perk, it got auto-removed from both my builds. So I highly recommend you to do not touch any equipped perk cards, just to make sure you don't end up with missing perks later on. Okay, following the perk topic, I must inform you that legendary perks are out of the equation. Yeah, you cannot edit your legendary perks through the special loadout system. Bethesda said they want legendary perks to be a bit like your character's DNA, a core part of you, so it shouldn't be easily changeable. In other words, if you wish to swap any of your legendary perks, you will need to do it the old-fashioned way by using perk coins and then selecting the new perks you want. So even though the interface still shows the legendary perks bar up there during your loadout's customization, it doesn't mean you can freely change them as well. On the contrary, it's just there because, it's part of the interface and for quick access as well. So don't get misled here. Next, we have a little detail I discovered a few days ago. You can actually change your active loadout on the go. That's right, if you decide to change any perks during your journeys, the progress will be automatically saved. You don't need to access a punch card machine to change any perk cards you want. In here, I removed all my charisma perks just to test, and as you can see, when I return to the machine, my active loadout is saved with the latest perk changes I did just a few seconds ago. Pretty awesome, huh? Anyhow, the same cannot be said about attributes. To change those, you need to first access the punch card machine to access the system. Still, I think this is a great rule. Let's say you only need to change a few perks. This means you can do it anytime, anywhere, and it will still save the progress, which means if you disconnect or crash, you won't have to do such minor perk changes all the time, again and again. Something else I noticed is that the interface can tell you a lot more than you might think. First of all, when you have attributes left to assign, it will display on the loadout rectangle. I know the font is quite small, but the detail is right there. The second visual information is the special bars. I wondered why some were red and others were light yellow. Well, the answer is simple. The bars obviously stand for your allocated attributes in each category, so the more attribute points you choose, the taller is your bar. Now, if you add all the perks you can to a certain attribute, the bar will become fully light yellow. If there are no assigned perks to a specific attribute, the bar stays red. If you equipped a few perk cards but you still have a few points left for perks, the bar will appear mostly light yellow with a bit of red left. I know it sounds slightly confusing, but it really isn't. Basically, the red color here indicates you still have space to allocate perks. This feature can simplify your life by a lot, because you don't have to check your entire perks all the time, section by section. You can just look at the loadout preview and look for any red parts. If you spot it, then it means a perk got removed or is missing somehow, and you probably should fix it as soon as possible. Alright, now it's time to move on to a recent announcement. In the latest Reddit AMA event, Bethesda unveiled that they are planning to release more slots in the future, possibly for both camp slots and special loadout systems. With Update 26, there will be only 2 slots in total, just like we have on the public test server right now, in which only one is empty, since the first one will allocate your current existing build. But that's not the limit forever. More slots are on the way. The only question is if they will be free additions or not. Only time will tell, I suppose. Now, to finish off, let me warn you about 2 major and concerning bugs. The first one is related to the special legendary perks, when you unlock further attributes than the standard ones through just attributes. The loadouts have an issue saving such extra perks. In other words, every time you swap between loadouts or a log, your extra perks will be auto-removed, as shown in the footage. It's a true hassle, and it forces you to re-add the missing perks all the time, with every play session or every time you enable a loadout. This issue is known ever since the public test server went live, and despite multiple reports, Bethesda was not able to fix it yet. So let's all hope they will before Update 26 hits the official servers, but just in case they don't, the best thing to minimize the hassle here is to always add high-rank perks last, such as a rank 5 Adrenaline or a rank 5 Demo Expert. This way you only have to re-add 1 perk instead of 2 or 3 per category. Let's all hope for the best here though. Another concerning issue is the fact that sometimes loadouts don't fully save your progress. There are quite some reports about how the loadout system is buggy as hell and players have to redo their latest changes. Perks missing is the most common result of this bug, but then again, it could also be because people are scrapping or ranking up their perks without knowing it can unequip these perks from their builds, which in the end generates the same result. Whichever the case, just keep in mind this system is far from being optimized right now, and perks can sometimes get out of place. Well, I must confess, the special loadout system looks very promising. It's a feature we have been waiting for a very long time, and overall I have a very positive impression so far. It does not only allow you to have 2 different builds per character, as it also allows you to fully respect your characters for free. It also allows you to change and save your progress on the go, at least when it comes to perks. On the other hand, you need to access a punch card machine if you wish to swap between loadouts. That's a huge con on its own, plus there are major bugs which can drastically affect your gameplay. But hold on, there's still hope Bethesda will solve all these issues in future patches, so I think we are better off to focus on the benefits here. At least now, playing opposite builds with the same character won't be a dream anymore. Well, that's it for my part. I am Marta Branco, thank you so much for having me. If you enjoyed this overview, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to let YouTube know you do so. And as usual, a huge thanks to all my supporters. You guys are the best. Well, I will catch you later in the next video. Until then, take care. Adeus. Bye bye.